From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check. This is the monthly stimulus check that would land in your bank account starting the month of July. A monthly stimulus check across the board and the single biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. I'll be going over how much, how it impacts you, and how you would get it. Then I'll be turning to fifth stimulus that comes in the fall that will provide the incredible relief for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits, and more. I'll explain how much and how it will work. Also, because this is the first afternoon show, I'll be jumping into the live chat with you and interacting with you and answering your questions live on air. Meantime, I'll also be going over confusion about third stimulus items. When are they paying? How are they paying? And why is one thing being said when it's actually the opposite? Which are application-based and which are automatic? I'll explain those details and more. We're going to have a big broadcast and have a lot of fun. This is Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. We're almost to the weekend. How are you? Hope you're having a wonderful day. This is Afternoons LA, the first of two afternoon shows. The next one's about 2 hours from now. This show, I'll be jumping into the live chat, so get your questions ready in about 3 minutes from now. I'll be answering them live on air. But first, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. In this video, I'm going to go over the fourth stimulus check, the monthly stimulus check, the fifth stimulus package with that incredible add-on of SSI reform, and then I'll be cutting to third stimulus. But unlike the other shows of the day in which I go into incredible excruciating detail about all the stimulus packages, how they're passed, how the vote is going to be called, I won't be doing that during this recording. I'll broadly go over what's going to happen because I want you to be the opportunity to ask me questions and have them answered on air. Moreover, I want to give you an update about a series of items that people are wondering, what's happening with that item? What's happening with this item? I want to cover it all in this recording, so let's get to it right now. Four stimulus checks are monthly checks under the fourth stimulus package. That package will start in the month of May. The fourth stimulus package is written by Congress, not written by the President of the United States. They write the bill, and they put the provisions in there. The four stimulus checks would be the single biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. And the senators have a different idea for how they want to pay it than the House members. Let's compare the details across the board. The House members want to pay that stimulus check for the rest of the pandemic and an additional year. So let's say the pandemic has 4 more months to it. They want to pay 4 more months plus 12 months on top of that. Senators, in turn, want to send a stimulus check out for the rest of this year, shorter time frame. House members are more progressives. Democrats are more moderate in the Senate. And then how much are the monthly checks? The House members have actually written that their checks would be $2,000 the first month and $1,000 thereafter. The senators have not said in writing how much they want to pay for the check, but word on the street is this amount. $2,000 a month, which over 6 months will be $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months is $8,400. Now, a lot of things that you may wonder about these stimulus checks. First, who gets it? Let's go over that. Everyone who got a third stimulus check would get this one. So if you make less than $75,000, this is you. Household 4 or less, this is you. And if you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or railroad benefits, this is you. Now, with that, let me answer some obvious questions that I always get about this. When would we physically get the first check? July. When would the vote be? July 4th, no later than July 4th, says Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi. The checks would become law in July, and then within 10 days thereafter, the checks would go out. There's no waves for these checks because they're monthly checks. So they don't have the liberty of it. It would not be a taxable event. It would not be income. It would not disqualify you for benefits. And for the amount that you saw earlier in this recording, that is per person. It's not for the whole household. So married couple, double it. Household up to 4, quadruple it. And there you go. then people may wonder, why is this amount so much bigger than 2020? It's not big as to what's happening in 2021. In the second half of this recording, you're going to see that the president wants to pay $24,000 to $84,000 for some individuals. So $8,000 for just you is not a lot of money. Finally, as detailed in all the videos throughout the day, but I'm not going to do the excruciating detail in this one. This is a reconciliation process. It takes 2 months to do. And the bill is written by Congress. President doesn't write the bill. The president's speech last night is just a speech. It's just sort of a pomp and circumstance. It's not supposed to be a laundry list. In fact, if it was a laundry list, you would have seen all this. What is all this? This is everything he's put in writing that he wants in the fifth stimulus package. How many things did he mention last night that he wants in the fifth stimulus package? About 2 of this entire page. So he's not covering a complete laundry list. And this is not the first time. In January, when the president debuted the third stimulus package, when he announced it on a Thursday night, he literally said almost nothing during that speech. And that Thursday night after the third stimulus package, people said, where's the third stimulus check? He didn't mention it. Because it's not a laundry list speech. It's just a sort of, hi, here I am. This is what I hope for the future. The bills are written by Congress, not by the president. And even if he had mentioned it, they're adding it in there. They're adding the stimulus check in for the fourth stimulus package, and they're adding the SSI reform under the fifth stimulus package. More about that in a second. But first, you're going to ask, how is this going to be paid for? So we do have that clarity. We've learned that the fourth stimulus package will be paid for by changing the corporate tax rate. And the fifth stimulus package will be paid for by changing the capital gains and personal tax rate. Now, in the second half of this video, I'm going to be going over how much is the SSI and SSDI reform. But here's what you need to know to start, is that the process for the fifth stimulus is the same as the fourth. It's a recon. Congress writes it, takes 2 months, and it's added, and they put in the fourth stimulus package, the roads, the infrastructure, the climate, and then add in the stimulus checks. Fifth stimulus package, same thing. They do the teachers, the schools, the food, and they add in there the SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Railroad Benefits reform. That's how we do it. So now, before I continue to fifth stimulus, I want to go over a lot of everything else, including third stimulus and those standalone bills that you've been asking about. First, people have been asking about any update about Miguel Cardona and that $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. No update. This is getting to be sort of disgraceful at this point. The memo was due 3 weeks ago and was instructed to be produced 5 weeks ago. So no update about Cardona. Number 2, people are asking any update about Elizabeth Warren and her wealth tax push this week. No big update about, but what's important to understand is that the wealth tax that Elizabeth Warren wants to have is a personal wealth tax change. And that's really tees it up perfectly for fifth stimulus. So that's fifth stimulus, because remember, personal tax on the highest end is what Elizabeth Warren is talking about. That's for fifth stimulus. Meantime, here are other things that you need to absolutely know going into the new day. There's a lot of items in third stimulus that are getting other YouTube channels coverage categorically incorrect. A series of other YouTube channels are absolutely publishing gibberish, untrue stuff about third stimulus and causing a lot of confusion for viewers. So let me clarify some of the stuff. And ironically, one viewer reached out to me about their tax preparer, what that tax preparer said. The tax preparer didn't understand one of these provisions. So it's very important that you understand what they are going forward. First, the $10,200 that's coming next month. Lord. A couple of YouTube channels are telling viewers that they're getting checks of $10,200 next month for unemployment. It's so darn wrong. I want to smash the table. It's so wrong. Let me explain to you what's coming in May. If you filed a tax return for 2020 and paid taxes on your first $10,200 of unemployment, paid taxes on it, you're getting those taxes that you paid for that $10,200 returned to you. You're not getting a check of $10,200. You're not getting all your taxes returned to you. You're just getting the taxes that you paid on $10,200 returned to you. So if you paid $89 or $200 of taxes on $10,200, that's what's getting returned to you. You're nowhere. No one in the United States is getting a check for $10,200 from the IRS. It's just absolute buffoonery that some YouTube channels are saying. That's the first one. The second thing about that is you had to have filed a tax return. So you would have had to have filed a tax return, paid taxes on that first $10,200. That portion of the taxes that relates to the $10,200 of unemployment is being returned to you. The second thing that's really being butchered, and this one's being butchered even more so offline from YouTube, is the following. Here's what you need to know even before I go into this. A new report came out this week from analysts that said YouTube growth is so strong at the moment, it may surpass Netflix in number of hours watched by the end of this year. There's over 1 billion hours being watched on YouTube. And with that, there's a lot of people getting into the space that are just saying complete gibberish. And it's really unfortunate. It's causing people confusion. What's happening with the children's money in July, that is also ground for just complete confusion. Here's what you need to know. If you make less than $75,000 and you have a child 17 or less, and the IRS knows about the child, you're going to get $3,600 or $3,000 prorated over 12 months during the month of July. It's very easy, very simple. Here's where it's being absolutely muddied and messed up. People are telling people, if you're on SSI and SSDI, you don't get it. Untrue. Untrue. People are telling people you have to have work to get it. Untrue. And then people are saying it's for the 2020 tax return. Untrue. Let me explain what it is. And I'll preface it by saying it is a little strange, it's a little complicated as an instrument unto itself. But boy, get it right or zip your mouth. Here is what it is. It's an advance for the 2021 tax year, paid a year earlier. I know it sounds weird, but that's the way they wrote it. The law provided that the IRS will give you a year earlier in 2021 now the money that you would not have gotten until you filed your return next year for the 2021 tax year in April of 2022. So it's an advance for next year. That's the first one. Second, they got to know the child exists. And this is the one that's absolutely been lost everywhere through the coverage. If they don't know the child exists, IRS does not know the child exists, you're not getting a penny. Here are the two situations. One, you're on SSI and SSDI, you make less than $75,000, but you don't file taxes return. IRS is not going to know the child exists. They're not going to know the child exists. You have to go to tax preparer and get that information routed to IRS. Second situation, you do file tax returns, but you don't mention the child. Why? Maybe the child was just newly born. Let's say the child was born during the pandemic, born in March of last year. Hey, happy birthday. You just had a birthday. You're 1 year old, and you haven't declared that child on your tax return, even though you file tax returns. IRS doesn't know the child exists. You're not getting a check. All right, so that is the latest on those two instruments. Next, the rent, the utilities, the mortgage assistance, and the homeowner's assistance, and the eviction moratorium and the mortgage forbearance. I have big updates for that for you right now. First, what's important for you to know is that currently they are slated to expire in a few weeks. So when they go live, and they've not gone live on purpose of the third stimulus until May, when they go live, the rent, the utilities, the mortgage assistance, the homeowner's assistance, grab it, because the eviction moratorium and the mortgage forbearance are expiring. Yes, they're expiring. Now, if you don't want them to expire, Purple Power, do your thing. Push to get them added into the fourth stimulus package in July, because come September, they're gone. They're gone. If you don't want them to be gone, do the push. What's also going away? This is very important. All the business grants and all the unemployment assistance is going away. It's not in the fourth stimulus package currently. So if you want them to be extended, push. EIDL grants will be going away. EIDL loans will be going away. PPP will be going away. FPUC, PUA, PEUC, all these things, unemployment assistance, business grants, rent assistance, homeowners assistance are all going away by September. So if you want them not to go away, remember who does go away in July? Congress. They go on vacation. If you don't want them to go away, get the push to get them in there. That's why I'm making this recording. So you know where things are. Also, there will be a lot of standalone bills throughout the next few weeks. Understand that Congress is done with this session in July. The bills expire. So if there is no bill called for a vote, if you've heard a bill, in April, you hear a bill in May, if it doesn't go to a vote, it dies in July. And in September, they got to start all over again. And with that, let me jump into the live chat for just a second before I join you for the second half of this recording and go over this stimulus. There is a question from Daniela Ferraro. I have a question. I'm on SSI and SSDI, and my fiance and I are both is on both, and we want to get married. I was wondering about the marriage. It cuts off with M. I was wondering about the marriage penalty. If you have the marriage penalty already, then you know what it is. If you don't have it, then you don't know what it is. The fifth stimulus, after the commercial break, I'm going to go over that the fifth stimulus is proposing to get rid of the marriage penalty. There's the second half of Daniel's question. Will I get the penalty, or will I be covered once they take out the marriage penalty for both people? Danielle. So there's the second half of Danielle's question. So so yes, when this gets called to a vote and becomes law around November, anyone who currently has the marriage penalty, it will be gone. So anyone who has the marriage penalty would become illegal. So there could no longer be a marriage penalty. John, are they going to extend unemployment? Well, currently they're not. So that's why I'm bringing it up. Understand that all these unemployment assistance programs are set to expire. Beasley, I wish they canceled the rent. Let me see some of the other questions. Mr. Biden, you do need to do a memo of that student loan debt forgiveness. Absolutely. And that was from, who said that? I missed that. Oh, that was from Hector Garcia. Thank you, Hector, for your comment. Oh, thank you, Jace. Thank you, Juan, for the hippo. I really appreciate that. Diane, my student loan debt forgiveness is $20,000. So if no one needs rent assistance applies for a one-shot deal, is that needed what you're saying? Because there's not going to be any rent help available. What I'm saying is federal. Now, what I'm covering on this channel is federal relief. Remember, states can always give you state relief. So there can be a state eviction moratorium, there could be state rent, there could be local city. I'm just talking about the federal government. Remember, the stimulus packages are federal instruments. Coming after the commercial break, I'll be going over fifth stimulus and what is going to happen for that, for the incredible SSI and SSDI reform. And I'll be answering more of your questions, so drop your questions during the commercial break. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues in 2 hours from now with that big broadcast. Boy, it's going to be a big one. Detail line item after line item of the fifth stimulus package and fourth on Afternoons LA. That's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 o'clock on the West Coast. And then we go into Evenings LA, which is going to go over more about what's in the fifth stimulus package and how it could get modified. Also, what could get modified in the fourth stimulus package when they write it up. And then 2 hours after that is the irreverent Javita Late and Sirloin in that humor-only broadcast, LA Late Night. How are you? It's a big afternoon, and I'm so excited you joined me. Thank you for the questions. Keep those questions coming. I'm going to be jumping back into the live chat. But first, if you've not subscribed, thank you for making this channel the fastest growing on YouTube. 400,000 subscribers practically in 1 year. 1 year in just a few days. If you're new to this channel, this is the most comprehensive, most up-to-date, and most breaking and interactive financial news channel online. Also like this video. 2, 3, 4,000 likes. It really helps in the algorithm ranking for the video to appear higher. Also, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino, VIP. If you're a member yesterday, boy, you got the list of what's in the fifth stimulus package before it was announced to news, and certainly before the president announced it, because he didn't even announce the whole details. Let's go over the excitement of that fifth stimulus with the SSI reform. And one of the viewers had that question earlier. Fifth stimulus will have SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits reform. Let me go broadly over it, and then I'll go over the specifics. They'll increase your benefits, increase the asset limits, increase the add the inflationary benchmark, then remove the marriage penalty, which we talked about before, and remove the income exclusion. This will be added by the Democrats in the fifth stimulus package. All right, let's go over how that works. First, this is if you are on any benefits. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or any type of benefits, this is you. If you're on multiple benefits, this is you. First, they'll raise all your benefits up to a new number. That will be your new number going forward. Number 2, your benefits will be tied to a new benchmark, which will be inflation. Inflation is good because Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve this week, said inflation is going to be about 2 to 4% over the next few years. Even if inflation goes out of control through the sky, then your benefits will go out of control through the sky. They'll go up as well. Great news across the board with that. They're going to get rid of the income, the asset exclusion, the asset cap, which dates back to a 1984 law that says for some of you can't keep more than $3,000 on hand. They're going to get rid of the income exclusion, which dates back to a 1962 law that says you can't work over a certain amount of money. So if you want to make $1,000 or $2,000 a month, you can approximately, and still keep that $12,000, $24,000 a year. This is for people who want to work. You don't have to work. And finally, the marriage penalty. When would this happen? This would be in the fifth stimulus. It would go with the same process as the fourth stimulus. Recon, 2 months, September, October. Likely to get finished in November. The benefits would impact your account by November. And the most common question I get is, will this hurt me for something else? 100% no. These people do this for a living. They know the system better than you and I do. So they are not going to raise your benefits and hurt you for Medicaid or hurt you for Medicare or hurt you for SNAP. They're not going to raise one thing and hurt another. Not going to happen. But I appreciate those line of questions. Very, very important. And with that, let me jump into the live chat and interact with you and answer any questions you may have as we go into an afternoon about fourth stimulus, third stimulus, or fifth stimulus. Let's see some of the questions you have across the board. What is the marriage penalty exactly? Tim Norton. It's too complicated to explain on air. I don't even know if I could explain it. But if you have it, you know it. If you have it, you know it, and you don't like it, and you want it gone. What does the marriage cap lifted mean? Not marriage cap, it's the asset cap. So the asset cap means you can't keep, that's from B. Johns. Asset cap means you can't keep more than $3,000 on hand for some of you. And then income cap means you can't work more than a certain amount of money. So if you have been working, you know about the income cap. And if you do qualify for the asset cap, then you know what that is. Could they cut my benefits down? No, Jacqueline, no. So they would raise your benefits up, and that new number is your new number. Your benefits will either stay at that number or go up. They never go the other direction. I haven't received my third stimulus check, and I'm still waiting. Is it going to happen or no or what? So the good news that's from Craig. So the good news is that some people who filed a 2020 tax return to request a missing third stimulus check, or simply put in a 2020 tax return to identify the IRS about their existence, IRS confirmed today and yesterday that another wave of third stimulus checks have gone out. If you have done nothing and you're sitting back and waiting for that third stimulus check and you've not filed a tax return, please go to a tax preparer. You absolutely have to do it. How is the jobs report and the unemployment number this week, Paula? Oh, yeah, I didn't show that on this video, but I can do it right now. The jobs number was bad. It actually went the other direction. It was not an improvement. It was actually worse. I have the number right here. Here's the new jobs number. Released this morning. New jobless claims, prior week 547, new week 553. Today we went higher. Really surprising. Remember, we were 700,000. We dropped 250. Then we improved a little bit more. This week we got worse. Really surprising. Let me see some other questions people have. So they're giving an advance for the child credit. Does that mean we don't get a tax credit for the child for the 2021 taxes in 2022? LaShonda, that's a complicated question. Let me see if I can explain it to you. The child care credit of $3,200, excuse me, $3,600 or $3,000 is a COVID-created third stimulus package provision. That third stimulus package provision is an advance for next year's return. It does not exist in the year after it because it's a one-year law. It's a one-year law. So if you're asking, are we going to get it for the year after? Currently, not yet, because it's only a one-year law. The third stimulus package made it a one-year law. Biden and the fifth stimulus is proposing to make it a six-year law. And Representative Neal is proposing to make it a 17-year law. Wait, I didn't say that right. Let me say that again. Third stimulus made it a one-year law. The president on the fifth stimulus is proposing to have it continue to the year 2025. And then Representative Neal is proposing to have it permanent. So you can get 17 years of it. Hopefully that clarified that question for you as well. So no, it's currently slated to go away after this year. Let me see some more of your questions. Lynn Glenn, Ellen, how are you? I'm good. How are you? Maddie, if our income per SSI will change to the poverty limit, will the amount be everywhere or change in every state? I don't know if I'm understanding the question. If your question is, will your benefits depend on what state you are in? I don't know. That's a little bit complicated. Remember, what we're talking about here is federal rules, not state rules. Regina, so people on SSI who have been on benefits for 20 years are getting a raise along with everyone else. Yes. Unless you hear me say you're not included, yes. What happened to all the retro stuff, Paul? Currently not happening. Doesn't mean they can't push to get it in there. Remember, fourth stimulus is a work in progress. Fifth stimulus is a work in progress. So they absolutely could still put things in there if you want to push it in there. A Jeep guy. So LA, do you think we're going to get this stimulus by July or for July? By July. By July, because that is the concept. They can't send a July check out in September. These are monthly stimulus checks. So this will have to arrive in the month of July for the month of July. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Hazard pay updates. Read. Yes, slightly. Let me go on camera for Reed's question about hazard pay. So under fifth stimulus, the president does have a proposed hazard pay provision. And let me explain to you what he proposes, and let me explain what I propose. He proposes to make the earned income tax credit for childless workers a lifetime benefit. Okay, so let me explain what that is. The earned income tax credit predates COVID. And initially, it was a couple $100s per year as a tax credit if you worked as a hazard pay essential worker, made less than a certain amount of money, and were a certain age. What the third stimulus package law did was increase the amount of money and increase the eligibility. It raised it up to $1,504 for the 2021 tax year, and then increase the eligibility people make less than $25,000, and then increase the eligibility for 19-year-olds and over. The president's fifth stimulus package is proposing, this is him, not the Congress, but him, to proposing to make that a lifetime change to the tax code, not just 1 year, which is currently what it is on the third stimulus. So that is a major update for hazard pay. Now, here's what I'd like it to be. I'd like it to be more money than 1504. I think it's too small. Number two, I'd like to increase the eligibility. I think just limit it to people like less than 25,000 makes no sense. Why not give it to people who make 35,000 or 60,000? I understand why it's just limited to people less than 25,000. So that is the update for hazard pay so far under the fifth stimulus from the president. Let me jump back into the live chat. Lynn Glenn, LA, do you think we'll get the SSI raise in October? No, you can't get the SSI raise in October. I think it'll be November because it's a 2-month bill. They start in September, and I don't think they even start Congress until the middle of September. So it's too soon for October. So people over 25,000 are not included, says Reed. Absolutely. Yeah, under the current third stimulus law, they're not included, which I don't think is fair. I don't think it's fair. I don't know what the significance of 25,000 is. Is that stimulus for SSI disability? Yes, it is, Teresa. Michelle, thank you for the super chat. Let me see some more of the questions. What happened to retro? Paula, there's a lot of things that are on the to-do list that ultimately they could always slide in there from Congress. But as time goes on, you wonder if they will get to these other items they never got to. Senator Ron Wyden said if you got more senators behind it, he would put the FPC retro in there. What about what happened to the child care tax credit? Sherry, that is detailed extensively tonight on Afternoons LA second show and Evenings LA. But let me tell you what it is. The fifth stimulus package from the president, while you did not hear it last night, of course, because he only mentioned like 3 things last night, he proposes to make it a lifetime benefit. Now, I think that's good, but I don't think that's where it should be. I think it should actually be more money. Let me explain to you where it currently is, what he's proposing, and what I think he should do. So it's currently, the child care tax credit is currently the following. 50% of your child care costs up to $5,000 for one child, or 2 or more children, 50% up to $8,000 for 1 year, deductible. He's proposing to make that a lifetime benefit. I like it to start, but I think it should be more money. I mean, if you've got 3 kids and you're spending, $40,000 in child care costs, 50% of that's $20,000. If you're spending the money, why not make more of it deductible? It doesn't make sense. If you're spending the money on the child care costs, why not make it more deductible? And why, if you have 1, 2 or more children, why is the number stopping because you have 3 children? It doesn't make sense. I would think that I love that it's included. I just think it should be bigger money. That's a child care cost, child care, which is different than the child tax credit. They're slightly different instruments. Let me see some of the other questions. Any updates on the unemployment refund? Yeah, I covered that in the earlier part of this video. What is the fourth stimulus cut off? I don't know what that means, but the time to get it done is July because Congress leaves in July and doesn't return to September. So the cutoff time to actually get it done is in July. Are we getting another stimulus checks in July for SSI? Yeah, so for stimulus, let's go over that. I think I have the eligibility screen here. Let me show it to you. Who qualifies for those 4 stimulus checks? There you go. So here is who qualifies for 4 stimulus checks. Same as third. So if you make less than 75,000, this is you. Household 4 or less, this is you. And if you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security benefits, this is you. Well, thank you for joining me on a big afternoon to LA broadcast. I really appreciate all your questions, and I hope I was helpful to you. We're back in 2 hours from now as the excitement continues here on LALATE. Let me show you our schedule going into the rest of the day. Afternoons LALATE's big tape show is in 2 hours from now at 6 p.m., and then we go into evenings LALATE at 8 p.m., followed by LA Late Night, the humor-only broadcast with Sirloin and Javita Late. And with that, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for all the new subscribers yesterday. Be part of this community, the best and most interactive and fun community there is. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes. It really helps in the algorithm ranking. And consider becoming a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Thank you for the new members overnight. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, and I'll see you in about 2 hours from now as Afternoons LALATE returns. And with that, have a beautiful rest of your early morning or midday show, midday, here on LALATE. And I look forward to seeing you with